Hello, it's Miss Pensinger, and this is another Scratch tutorial. This tutorial is about relative motion. Relative motion is when you want your sprite to move based on where he currently is. You may not know where that is, you may not know where he's going to end up, but you know that you want him to move. The most basic form of relative motion is move so many steps. Let's make it a little bit more so we can see it. This block tells the sprite, whatever direction you're facing, go forward this far in it. Pretty simple, hopefully pretty familiar by now. The other way to change where your sprite is to use this change X and change Y. Similar to setting X and Y, the difference is, in this case, it doesn't matter where it starts, and you may not know where it ends up. So if I change X by 100, it will move to the right by 100, or the direction it's facing, actually. I can make it go backwards. But notice, it's relative to where the sprite is. This looks different from setting X to -100 because it will go there and stay. This one will keep moving. Let's bring it back. Okay? Same with Y, pretty simple. The final piece of relative motion is rotation. You can turn clockwise or counterclockwise a certain number of degrees. Again, this will start whichever way your sprite is facing and move it a little bit in the way you want it to go. Whee! Relative motion is pretty simple, but it can get you tripped up. If you definitely want your sprite to be moving, relative motion and absolute motion are very important ways to move your sprite. It's important that you think carefully about how you want your sprite to move and use the type of motion that makes sense in that scenario. If you want your sprite to go to a specific spot, make sure you choose absolute motion. If you want your sprite to move a little and then maybe move a little again and move a little again, and you don't want your command to leave it in one specific spot on the screen, then you're looking for relative motion. Think carefully about what your program is going to do and play with both types of motion to make sure you understand them so you can choose the one that works best for your program. There's one more kind of relative motion that we need to talk about. And this is the motion that is relative to something else. I've put a forever block here in my code so that you can see this work. We're going to first look at the point towards code. And I'm going to slide it in the forever blocks. If I just leave it out here, it will do it once. But that's not super helpful in showing you how it works. So I've put it in a forever block so that it will keep happening. I can also have it point towards a sprite, in this case the apple. So wherever the apple might go, the sprite will point. I could then have it move in that direction, or I can have it go to. So I'm going to look at the go to option. Again, in the forever block so you can see it, it's going to go to the mouse pointer. Notice how this makes it look like the sprite is the mouse pointer. That might be helpful for you at some point. I can also make it go to the apple. Wherever the apple is, the sprite goes. Kind of looks like it's right on top of the apple. So I might go ahead and grab, so you can see it, a weight block. wait 5 seconds. No, that's too long. 1 is plenty. So when the apple moves, it'll go. So you can control that as well.